Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Patio Slave Podcast. It is September 17th, episode 28. Anthony here with Tony and Nate. How you guys doing on a Thursday?
Doing awesome, man. How about you guys?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, I haven't been this excited for a non-interview episode in a long time, and which we'll get into that in a second. But before I do, as always, hit us on the socials. Instagram and Twitter is at Patio Slave. And email's always open too, patioslavepodcast@gmail.com. Drop us a line. We'll respond within a day. We're quick on that stuff, right, guys?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we love hearing from you guys. So keep those coming. So, Nate, what's new this week? What happened?
Well, we got some thank yous. We finished our first contest giveaway, which is kind of exciting. You guys are inventorying a ton of nerdery, so we had our first giveaway. And so thank you for everyone that entered the contest, and to Chris for winning the contest. We'll get that poster down to you this week. And of course, another thank you to our guest last week, Ian. Super gracious to come on the show, going deep on the nerd level with us and kind of discussing some stories completely uncensored. So we really appreciate you, Ian.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
And yeah, it was really cool. It was great to have you. Can't wait to get you back on the show. So wanted to show our gratitude for sure.
yeah, awesome. Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun last week. It was fun doing the little short video the other night to pick the winner for the contest too. Like I was kind of all jazzed up. We turned the mics on for a few minutes and had kind of a mini production meeting, and then just let her rip. So that was fun too.
It was very like show busy. Like,
Yeah.
oh, come on down. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
collect your prize.
And we're going to use that wheel tonight too, right?
Yes, we have
Yep.
the wheel locked and loaded for the segment, which I will get into right now. So the segment, we have an abbreviated set list we'll get through too beforehand. A couple, news, odds, and ends from the week. But the set list is going to consist of, we're tiering bands. So in the new metal genre, we have the greatest of all time status. So those are bands that would be on the Mount Rushmore of new metal. And then Hall of Famers would be bands that still going to be kicking around 20 years later. A lot of them are right now that we have on this list, and kind of going through their resume. And then All-Stars are bands that were good in the moment, maybe didn't have the lasting impression. Maybe they were bands that had 2 or 3 good albums, then kind of fell off, or maybe had 7 albums and then fell off. Who knows? And then the Benchwarmers, which, those are the scrubs.
We love the cross nerdery with sports. We're all big sports fans, so we figured the GOAT status, Hall of Famer, All-Stars, and Benchwarmers. And we're going to have different opinions too, right? So that's going to be half the fun.
Yep.
And we're going to use that, Wheel of Names?
Yep, the Wheel of Names is
Yeah.
back, baby.
We got like 50 bands, I think.
Yep. We know how much Mike loves the Wheel of Names. Mike in Texas, he told us, he was like, "This is crazy. I love it."
That's awesome. It's cool too, because we're going to validate bands that some people will probably shit on, or maybe within this group of 3. Who knows?
Yeah, yep.
You know?
I can think of a couple, and we're not going to get to all 50 tonight. Like, don't
No.
don't worry.
Yeah.
This isn't going to be a 7-part, 14-hour episode, but we'll probably kick around at least three or 4 times of spinning, and then see where we're at, or maybe even 5 or 6 and see where we're at. So, cool. Who wants to get into the first set list item?
So, let's jump into it. So the first headline that really caught our eye, because we're all big vinyl heads, is vinyl's outselling CDs for the first time in 35 years, or 34 years, since 1986. I get takes. You guys get takes?
Yeah, I gotta take right off the bat, and I said it to you guys in pre.
Yeah.
The article, it's kind of a misnomer, right? It's kind of a clickbaity.
Yeah.
They sold more money wise, like it's a money number, not a units number. So my thought there is CDs are what, $10. Vinyl, a lot of times you're paying 20 to 30, sometimes 40 or 50. So, that can add up pretty quick if it's 2 to 3 times as much as a CD costs, right?
Yeah, it's a great call. You think of like deluxe, like 4 LP packages, like can be like hundreds of dollars. So yeah, you can rack up some high revenue pretty quickly. The CDs are, I think, would you say $10, Tone? I don't know if they're that cheap.
I mean, that's my guess. 10, 15 even. Say they're 15. It's
Maybe.
still, you're not getting a lot of vinyl at 15.
Yeah, I think that's how disconnected I am from buying CDs. I don't know how much they are anymore. I'm sure they've come down on price. But yeah, no, that was a great point. If it wasn't for that, it would be pretty substantial. Like, oh wow, it surpassed CDs, which is massive, economies of scale compared to vinyl for sure.
Yep.
So yeah, revenue.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that, Tone. I figured them passing was units, but it wasn't. It's dollars. Because my take was going to be like, how didn't this happen before now? I mean,
Yeah.
no one's buying multiple copies of a CD, yet I have 5 copies of the same Crime in Stereo album 5 feet from me.
Yeah.
You know, between the represses, different colorways, all of that. I mean, there's nothing that's going to get me to buy multiple CDs. Although I think like Target has exclusive CDs, which I know some people do that.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm just surprised it didn't happen before then. I feel like I've seen this headline before.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been kicked around the internet for what, 2 years? Like it's almost there. It's almost there. And then
yeah,
that's probably what it
was. Yeah.
I was actually going to say that. Yeah, because when I was kind of cross-referencing this article, there was articles that came out in 2018 and 2019 that were like, it's about to. So yeah, this officially is. But again, based on not on unit sales.
No, and I think, like you said, Nate, we're not really in tune with buying CDs anymore. So it's kind of funny to think like, what do those cost? Because I don't remember. But I did buy a CD last fall. I bought the Tool Fear Inoculum because it came with that video player, and it was it was a nerd thing that I needed to have, right? And it wasn't pressed on vinyl, so I didn't get the vinyl.
That's true.
Really? That wasn't pressed on vinyl?
Nope.
Wow.
Not
Wait till
initially.
it'll be like 100 of them, and you have to give a blood sample to get it. But
yeah, I'm surprised they went CD on that one. Maybe it's because that was like the final album on their contract. They're like, whatever, let's do CDs. Let's get our last plaque.
And like, there's a lot of bootleg stuff out there, like especially for Tool. 10,000 Days is a lot of bootleg vinyl, and I think you can get Fear Inoculum, but it's not. It's unofficial, right? They're not the official release, so who knows where they're getting the audio from and how good it's going to sound when you buy it. You're going to spend $40 on that. You're hoping it sounds good.
Yeah, those are hard to find.
That's so true about the cost of vinyl. Like as soon as you throw gatefold in, you're at $30.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but it's like the gatefold is so badass. Like
oh yeah.
Oftentimes I'll like hold off on non-gatefold, even if it's $19.
Yep. It just doesn't look as good, doesn't feel as good in your hand. It's a lot of times they're 150 gram as opposed to 180. Like, I want the 180. I'd rather have 3 songs aside and it sound better than 7 songs aside and it sound like shit.
Nerd talk.
Yeah.
Total nerd talk.
It is nerd talk. And the durability. Like that thing's not going to snap. Oh, man.
I want the extra grams. Where's the 200 gram? They haven't made that yet. That's game changing. Maybe we'll do that. We'll press it.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I'm telling you, that's the next play. Is like you get the rare 200 gram press, and you don't know it until you open it.
It just costs more to ship too. Like, oh, shipping's $18 now. It weighs too much. Oh man, you fly somewhere, you buy it. Let's say like next fall, hopefully, when we're back to semi-normal, we fly out to SoCal to hang with Nate. And go on tour with him, and then let's go to Amoeba. Okay, cool. Oh man, they got a bunch of 200 gram vinyls. Throw those in your bag, and you can't come home. You're gonna pay the extra fee, the baggage fee at the airport.
It's like buying ski gear.
Yeah,
you gotta you gotta pack it.
Just mail it to me, bro.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So Amoeba opening back up this weekend. You see that?
I did see that. Yeah, congrats to Mark on that.
Yeah, I saw that, and I hit it with a like on Twitter. I was like, good.
The one in Berkeley, right? You're talking about?
Yeah, today I think they might have reopened today or tomorrow.
Yep, yeah, because the one in LA still hasn't been built out yet.
The pictures are awesome, though. You saw the pictures, right?
Yeah, it does look great. Yeah, that'll be fun to check that out after all this time, for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Shopping spree.
Dude, I mean, there's going to be some awesome stuff in there. They're building the stage. I mean, we're nerding out right now about Amoeba Music. Our first ever guest, Mark, co-founder. Go back and listen to that. But yeah, it's cool. I'm excited for them to. It's a place that I definitely want to get to. Cool. We want to jump into the new Manson.
Yeah. Yes. Continue with the new metal.
Yeah. Start with the new metal. Finish with the new metal. Yeah. What'd you guys think?
I liked it, man. I played it again today, and I was really surprised how much I liked it. It's clearly a departure. Listening to the full album front to back, it's a piece of work. I think it's supposed to be, unified as a full record. Speaking of vinyl, it would be a great record to listen to on wax because you don't skip songs on this one, or at least on this take for me. And I just was really diving deep because I knew we were going to talk about it. But yeah, I like it, and I think Twanted, you had mentioned there was a lot of Bowie on that single. It's definitely throughout the whole album,
I agree.
Which is really cool. What about you guys?
Yeah, so I would say if you're looking for the shock rock Manson, this ain't it. which
Yeah.
I was thinking about it. I looked up how old he is. He's 51. And
Damn. That's
it's like,
crazy.
I don't expect that. I don't need shock rock from a 51-year-old Manson. Like, his catalog is deep enough where I've gotten enough of that. This is kind of what I'd want from him. And there was a track on there that did kind of stand out. It was like a lot of subdued tracks and the Bowie-esque tracks, but then you get to Infinite Darkness, and that could be on Hollywood or Antichrist Superstar. Like, he brings it on those on that track, which I thought was cool. Yeah, I think this is. I mean, I can't even remember the last time I checked out his album, one of his new albums, this soon. Like, I didn't check out Heaven Upside Down or
Pale
Emperor. I didn't actually never heard those. Eat Me, Drink Me. That one was
interesting. I listened to that
interesting.
one. Yep. Yeah. That was the last one that I spent any time with, because there's some really good songs on that record too.
So I liked it. I'm with you, Nate. What do you think, Tone?
I liked it too, and the Bowie thing hit me again too. Just listening to him, like, that's exactly what this is. It felt like, maybe a little bit grittier sounding Bowie songs, right? Especially the first four or five songs, and then you're right. It kind of it not reverts back to old Manson, but it's got some Antichrist Superstar / Hollywood / older style Manson there in the middle. I really like to Keep My Head Together towards the end. I thought that song was the best song on the album.
Nice.
I'll definitely come back to this. Like, I know Twan says that. I'll definitely listen to this again for sure.
Yeah, it's a new take for Manson, for sure.
It's so funny though. In the streaming era, it's like you have the history of music at your fingertips. Like, either you're gonna come back to it or you're not. I feel like that's the threshold for me. I think this would be a comeback to.
Yeah, it couldn't be easier. It's like the U2 album that gets put on your phone. Like, it's so easy. It's right there.
Yeah,
it's right there.
It's very easy to just fire something up. That's probably the hard part about putting something out today. Unless you're one of those big names, it's like you're just throwing it into this ocean of music, and there's all the stuff that was before you, and all this stuff that come out the same day as you, and next week there's going to be another 3-gallon bucket tossed into the ocean. Like, it just keeps happening. It's crazy.
Yet I still just listen to like Evil Empire. I just go back to it.
yeah, that happens to me too.
Down Rodeo, give it to me.
Yeah, what do I want to listen to from 20 years ago? Oh wait.
It's so true. And that's actually what we're going to be talking about tonight, right?
Oh yeah, that's coming up.
20 years ago, yeah.
Lots of 20 years ago. And then, I mean, even some into today that maybe shouldn't be happening, but who knows? Just a little teaser for your main segment. All right, so Facebook. There's some Facebook news this week too that was kind of interesting. On
the Zucker.
Yeah,
the Zuck.
Two different random that feel like they should be different, but they're kind of go hand in hand. The first one being this story that kind of gained steam this week that isn't really all that new, that Facebook was going to be stopping bands from live streaming listening events on their Facebook pages, to the point where they may just delete the account altogether. And that's, I mean, I don't understand, A, if that is going to happen. I understand why. And B, it might be a couple of years old, and it doesn't make sense as to why this is coming out again now, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you said it. They to quote them, a music listening experience, which is so vague. It's like, well, what are you talking about? Like, bands in the studio jamming? Are you talking about live music? Are you talking about like what? Like anything with Facebook, it's all cryptic, and I don't think anyone really knows. I think that's just
no one knows.
You interpret this, and we'll get you if you loosely come close to it. I still don't really know too much what it means. I guess they read that they want to protect copyrighted music. So does this mean, like, if I'm a band, say I'm I don't know, Stephen Jenkins, and I stream on Facebook, what from the Third Eye Blind account, what happens?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Either their Facebook or they own Instagram, right? Now, Instagram you can only stream on Instagram for an hour. I don't think there's that limit on Facebook, but those two places, are you telling Stephen Jenkins, who is the owner of that music per se, that he can't play Third Eye Blind songs on a live stream? That doesn't make any sense to me. My only thought here is, who owns the music? Are they buddying up to some of those big name, like Warner Music or one of those deals? Like, hey, you guys are kind of floundering a little bit. let's put two and two together here, and Facebook owns all your catalog and all that. You know what I mean? Like I could see that happening.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's basically a blanket statement, vague enough to protect them, but gives them the opportunity to pivot in kind of any direction. So I think you're right, Tony. I mean, it's either that or it's the other way around, where they're going to get slammed by like the record labels for, batting a blind eye to essentially copyright infringement without any kind of recourse. So, that's Facebook.
Yeah,
in a
well,
nutshell.
it goes hand in hand with the other article that came out. They just bought a bunch of rights to music so they can stream it on their gaming platform, which is the competitor to Amazon's Twitch.
Yep.
Which we talked about with Papa Roach a couple weeks ago. So you're gonna let some gamer nerd, which I am one. I'm gonna say that I play video games. Some gamer nerd to stream on Facebook streaming with Third Eye Blind's music or Marilyn Manson's music, but you're not gonna let Third Eye Blind or Marilyn Manson stream. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it's ass backwards.
All right, you guys want to get into the segment?
Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
So the segment tonight, we are placing new metal bands into different tiers. So we have GOAT status, Mount Rushmore, greatest of all time, top 4 or 5 band in the genre. That's going to be the big tier. And we have Hall of Famers, bands that, they're remembered 20 years later. A lot of these bands you may not remember right now, but there are some that you're going to be like, yeah, these guys stood the test of time. They've been around 20, 25 years, and we're still talking about them today. Those are Hall of Famers. And then we have All-Stars, bands in the moment did really well, maybe didn't have quite the longevity that, the GOAT status bands or the Hall of Famers did, but they made a mark at their time. And then Benchwarmers, bands that just maybe they had one song or one album and never really stood the test of time and didn't kind of give us more than that. So that's how this is going to go. We've got the wheel of names out again. I'm going to hit the button. It's going to spin. There's like 50 bands in here, and we'll just start talking about them. You guys ready?
Do we want to throw in a tier between All-Stars and Benchwarmers?
There might be a couple that fit into that kind of like 6 man of the year type tier. Yeah, that could happen. That could happen.
So five tiers. Yeah, I like that.
All right, cool. Let's spin it. We're going to get the first one going here. Yeah, there's like 50 bands on here, so this should be pretty fun.
Yeah, I hope we disagree on a few of these. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Ooh, Fear Factory is our first band. All right. Okay. I'm not starting because I honestly have never listened to a Fear Factory song.
I'll start. So I never saw these guys. Let me think. I never intentionally went to see them, and that's not a negative. They never really rolled through the Northeast a lot. I might have seen them open for maybe Slayer at the State Theater. But anyway, I think they're still around. I do like them. Let's do process of elimination. They're not GOATs. They're not. Are they Hall of Famers? Final answer. They're Hall of Famers. They'll be remembered. Wow. I mean, they're remembered now. They're more than Benchwarmers. They're more than All-Stars. I think for me, they're Hall of Famers. And I'm trying to think of the album. I can picture the album that I got into first. Obsolete, maybe? Yeah, I'm looking it up now.
The black one?
Yeah, the black one. Obsolete.
Black cover.
That was kind of their breakthrough, I guess.
Yeah.
It's got like the brain and the spine thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
What about you, Nate?
It's so funny because similar to Tone, like I don't know a whole lot about this band for whatever reason. I just didn't give it the time of day. And it's a pretty heavyweight name, like you said. So I'd say based on what I've seen, they kind of fall in that Hall of Famer category. And I know Dino, right, is a pretty well-known guitarist in the scene. So, in fact, they've been in the news lately for some issues between former and current band members on, I think, royalties or something like that. But that's not here nor there. So, yeah, to be honest, I actually don't have a whole lot of take on it similar to Tone. So I'd have to fall into following what you're saying, probably Hall of Famers based on the little that I know. But I know that they had a big splash when they came to the scene. So
I'm gonna give you. I know who they are.
Yeah.
Having never listened to them, I know who they are. I knew who they were then. I know who they are today. So for that alone, they're not Benchwarmers for me. I can't say too much about them as far as the music goes because I haven't spent enough time with anything. So, but yeah, for that to be the case where I'm a non-fan and have never spent any time with the music to know who they are, then they've done something right. So they got to fit, and I kind of fall to one of this too. They got to fit in that Hall of Fame category just for that alone. I will revisit now. We'll get some stuff on the playlist. It'll be, an education for Nate and I, which will be fun.
And another thought about these guys is there's going to be people that are in the camp of they're not nu metal. They're more, I mean, you could say they get elements of thrash. They get, I've always looked at them as a nu metal band for the most part. I mean, the bands they toured with, I think they were on Roadrunner?
Was that the time they came up though? Was that why you ended up playing with a lot of those bands, because you're kind of hitting it in 99 or 2000?
I think a lot of it had to do with the label they were on. I think they were on Roadrunner for that Obsolete album. But Dino was in a few other bands before this too. So he had some, kind of a brand name going on. But you're right. I think it was a lot of who they toured with at the time, kind of in that kind of groove metal, nu metal, Roadrunner scene.
Yeah, this was definitely a thank you liner note band that I saw, and for some reason just never fully gave attention to. But and I think Twan, the show you're thinking of, they opened for Slipknot at that Worcester show at the Palladium.
I missed that one.
Okay, yeah, I think they were on that bill. Could have sworn that they were on that bill. But
I mean, that's Roadrunner. That makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
All right, we ready for another one?
Yeah, let's spin it again.
Sweet.
All right, she's spinning now. So yeah, that'll be fun. We'll get a song or two on the playlist from Fear Factory to teach us all a lesson. Ooh, just missed one and gave us Drowning Pool.
Drowning Pool.
And apparently they're on there twice, so it's now they're gone. Drowning Pool. Okay, yeah, this is an interesting one for me because Bodies is everybody knows Bodies, right? That song was absolutely massive. And people still know it today because it gets played in a bunch of different places, whether it be at a football game or wherever. The lead singer passed, right? The one who sang Bodies. He's no longer with them, but they're still a band. Am I correct in saying that?
I think they are. I'd have to look that up.
Yeah,
they were for a while after. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in the moment, they're all-stars. I don't think they had enough, even though they probably stuck around a little longer than I cared to pay attention. They really hit with Bodies, and there's another song off that album that was kind of big on the radio, but Bodies was so big. It was just
Sinner?
Yeah, that might be it. Yep. Is that the name of the album too?
That was the name of the album. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
so, yeah, for me, I think they're all stars because of. I mean, this is a situation where they would have been like a one-hit wonder all-star too, right? Just because of that song. But I think they're nu metal all-star too.
Interesting. I'm gonna go. I mean, I didn't really know a whole lot about this band, similar to Fear Factory, other than that single, to be honest, or those two singles, and I never saw them live. And I don't think actually this is one of the few albums out of this whole 50 band list on this nu metal spin the wheel that I never bought the album, so I actually never even dove into the album in the first place. But yeah, I know the singer died, and I saw a different band, Il Nino, live once. And I guess the singer from that band, Christian, and the singer from Drowning Pool were good friends. So, I remember him always referencing him in live performances and whatnot. But I'd have to go, and I hate to say it for someone that passed away too, but probably Benchwarmer, just because, again, I'm not fully versed in what they were doing. And even when I heard it, I was like, this is like, it definitely seemed like a radio song. Like, all right, this is like a radio song. It's a radio band.
Can I take issue with this real quick?
Yeah.
I need to. I have to. You've never listened to Fear Factory, and you gave them Hall of Famer status, and you're gonna give Drowning Pool a Benchwarmer, and you know the song Bodies, which is everywhere. That blows me away, man.
Yeah, no, true. I mean, I'm basically, just following the lead on Twan with the legacy of Fear Factory, because I know that they've been, they've had that name brand recognition and whatnot. But yeah, no, good point. I feel like I'm kind of a.
Don't change it. Leave it. No, stick with it, man. Stick with it. Yeah, don't do it. I'm not trying to change your mind. just calling you out. That's all.
No, and likely so, and rightfully so. But yeah, for I mean, it's like one of those like hard decisions, because it's like I don't really have a full. It's like voting. Like if you don't know the politician, like I really can't give you an honest opinion, other than I've seen them on ads. But would I vote for them? I don't know.
So for me, I did buy this album, Sinner, in 2001, and it was one of those like $6.99 Bull Moose albums when it came out. I don't think I ever really liked them, and it's not to be negative. I remember buying that album, and probably because it was cheap. But I did see them. They were on the Jägermeister music tour at the State Theater in '01 or '02, Coal Chamber, Il Nino, and Tree. So I kind of went, to be honest with you, for those 3 openers. To me, it's funny. I did some research. They started in '96, but to me they translate as an industry plan. Like this, to me, is the new metal's popping. Find a band that you can mold the single for, and you got bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's almost like the if you look at a band like Edema, how they had the association with Korn, how that could have possibly benefited them or hurt them. I think Bodies killed any chance this band had of being pretty good. And they might be good. Like they have 7 albums. I've heard one of them, so who am I to say? But that Sinner album, I'm not going to revisit it. And it's not a negative thing. It's just, for me, they're probably a 6-man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I like that. I could get on board with that. My thought is, so they probably got more runway because of that song, and were able to continue to make music as a touring act or whatever they were after the fact, even with a different lead singer, because of that song. So I would argue that the song, maybe it pigeonholed them a little bit.
Maybe from like a metal purist perspective.
Yes, I would agree with that. But
Yeah.
as far as being viable as a band, I think it gave them more runway.
Oh, that band's still cashing checks right now. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for that song, for sure.
Yeah. And
a
another
good
thing
one.
with that song too is like the bad press is good press thing, because that came out like around 9/11, right? And they actually pulled
yeah.
that song.
Yep.
They pulled that song from the radio because it seemed controversial at the time.
Yep.
With the towers going down. So it's like one of those weird bad press is good press. I feel like, the song became bigger because it was in the press as like, oh, this is bad. You shouldn't listen to this.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Marilyn Manson type thing. We were talking about Manson earlier. Like, Manson's the reason Columbine happened. Well, no, not at all. He's a scapegoat if you want to do
Right.
that, and so
Good
kind of
point, Nate.
helps.
I hadn't thought of that.
Mhm.
So, Tone, I'm going to backpedal.
Mhm.
Yeah, this band is still massive. It's because of that. I assume because of that, that song
It's
gave
got to
them
be
runway.
this song.
Their monthly Spotify listeners are 2.2 million,
Are you shitting me?
which is unbelievable. And they've had a recent release this 2016. 2016.
Oh, 4 years ago. Okay.
So they're still going. Yeah. So that single took them a long way.
Yeah, it definitely gave them
Joke's on us.
more runway. 2.2 million. That's crazy. I would not have guessed that at all. So
Month?
I'm sticking with my all-star. I think they're an all-star. And actually, for some people, they're probably a Hall of Famer, which is crazy.
For context, Fear Factory has a quarter of that, 600,000.
Wow.
Damn. That's
And 600K is a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Well, especially for a band, not super mainstream. Like that. I never heard a Fear Factory song on the radio.
No.
Bodies you heard everywhere for quite a while.
Yeah.
That was a good one. I like that one. All right, we ready for another one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yep.
Spinning. Yeah, these you never know what you're gonna get. That's the best part about this. It just kind of, we just missed them again.
Oh shit.
Saliva.
Saliva.
Oh,
Not a joke this time
The
either.
punching bag of the Patio Slave podcast.
Yeah. All right, who wants to lead off?
Nate, you lead this one off. I want to hear your take on this one.
Oh man. All right. So Saliva, similar to Drowning Pool, I felt like was another like industry plant type band. Had a solid, lead single that hit all the right notes. Was catchy enough to work into commercials and everything. And basically, that's the only thing you remember from that band is that single. And again, was never really a big fan. It always seemed a little cliche at the time, and still to this day. I mean, I don't listen to them, unfortunately, or fortunately. So, like you said, it's the punching bag band of the podcast, because it seems so like, smash mouthy. Like, okay, this is just something that I can make a joke out of. Again, we don't want to be negative on this podcast, but never bought the album. I know they toured with one of our favorites on this podcast, Head PE, and I didn't go to that show, but I heard everyone went for Head PE and left after Saliva came on.
Well, yeah, if you're going for a head PE, you're not going for Saliva, and vice versa.
Yeah, and that just shows you the bills that get put together. Like, oh, rap, rock, perfect. Yeah, this works. Yeah.
Do you want to go 20? You want me to go?
I'll go. Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah, oh, but yeah, Nate, you bench warmer, Nate?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Twan.
All right, I'll lead with the punchline here. For me, they're Benchwarmers / Six Man.
Mm.
I think you nailed it, Nate. Like, they are the smash mouth of this genre, and everything screams industry plan, formulaic. Lead with the aggressive single, Click Click Boom, but then come back with...
You forget Your Disease. That was the first single.
Oh, that's right. Your Disease. Yeah, Your Disease. Yeah. And that got radio play.
Yeah.
And this is another band where, like, one thing we do on this podcast, we take music serious, but we don't take ourselves serious. Like, the joke's on us. They have 2 million monthly listeners on Spotify. Like, we're in Nate and I are in the minority because people dig this band. But for me, are they going to be revisited in 20 years? No. They're 6-man Benchwarmers.
So I think they're a 6-man, and they're bordering on all-star for the genre. For the genre.
Hey,
Even
now
if
you're an all-star.
Yeah, right? Exactly. And maybe I'm looking kind of dumb with my finger and my thumb on my forehead. But no, Your Disease is a big song. Click Click Boom is obviously a big song. I mean, everybody remembers that one. It's still being used in things today. Hollywood was good. I like the song with Chad Kroeger for Spider-Man Hero. I thought that was a good song. I mean,
Actually did like that song. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm leaning towards All-Star, man, for the genre. Overall, yeah, they're probably an industry plant. They're probably a band that, helped to, like, let's mold these guys into a thing we can make some money off of. But like you said, people are still digging it now. So, 2 million monthly listeners. That's nuts.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna say All-Star. Saliva's an All-Star.
And let's call back to the episode with Rob Riccatelli, the radio DJ. What episode was that?
17.
17?
7.
He interviewed, was it Josie Scott?
Mm-hmm.
Said he was a sweetheart. Said he was the nicest guy.
Yeah.
You can't hate that.
No.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they came through a couple times. They played the Holiday Bazaar. They played a few other things.
Yeah, well deserved for the positivity on Josie Scott. I was gonna say, like, it's funny that everyone knows that name, Josie Scott. It's like, are we even like that big of nerds? Like, we all know this name, Josie Scott. As soon as Rob said it, we were like, oh yeah, Josie Scott, yeah, yeah.
And that's why they're All-Stars. They might even be now you're making a case for Hall of Famers.
I know, he's like a Gene Simmons. Like, everyone knows Gene Simmons. Everyone knows.
I don't know if he's quite
Josie
Gene
Scott.
Simmons, but yeah.
Well, let's go back to the Bandicap episode. Saliva's a Bandicap.
See, I think it's not. I think it's the other way around.
Oh, I think that name stinks.
Maybe in 2020. I think you're right in 2020 with COVID. Yeah.
Saliva. I mean, come on.
Man. Is Click Click Boom metal therapy or heavy therapy?
No. No. Click Click Boom is like roll the windows down, feeling good. Feel good mood booster.
Yeah. 4th of July, America rules.
Yeah. Modern block weekend on WCYY. Saliva. Yeah, I can see both sides of that, actually. Saliva isn't the greatest name ever, but I think it fits in the nu metal genre for sure.
Yeah.
Man, another good one. We've had some good ones here. All right, we ready for another one?
I want to get a GOAT Hall of Famer.
Yeah, let's get a GOAT.
We got one coming. I'm sure we got one coming. It's gonna be right here. It'll probably be Saliva. Oh wait, we just did that.
Big money, big money.
Nope. Power Man 5000.
Power Man.
I'm gonna go ahead and venture a guess. Not a GOAT.
Not a GOAT.
What was the big song? Worlds Collide.
Yeah. Yep. When Worlds Collide.
Yeah, that song was huge. But that was what 20? That was 99, 2000. That was a while ago.
And the singer was Spider.
Yep.
Rob Zombie's brother or something.
Oh, is it?
I was gonna say more nepotism in the industry with Rob Zombie and his brother for this band.
Tonight the Stars Revolt. That was the breakthrough, and I think they'd been around for a while. I'd have to look at their catalog, which I'm kind of doing now, but I think they'd been around. Yeah, the first album was 94.
Oh, wow. So they're 25, 27 years old, 28 years old probably. That's crazy. For me, Benchwarmer. I never got into them. New Worlds Collide. Wasn't really a fan. Didn't do much for me.
Can I make a comment? Do you guys remember Can't Hardly Wait?
The movie?
Yeah.
Dude, my wife and I were talking about this an hour and a half ago. Ooh. Yes, I do. I love that movie.
You remember Seth Green's character?
I do remember Seth Green's character.
He reminds me of Spider from
Kenny
Power Man.
It was Kenny something, right?
He's wearing the goggles.
He's wearing the goggles. Exactly.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Spider in this era. Like on the cover of Tonight the Stars Revolt, he's wearing those ski goggles. and he kind of looks like him.
Oh boy.
For me, they're Benchwarmers. I think they paid their dues. Like, they didn't reap all the benefits from being Rob Zombie's brother. But then, like, could you name? Actually, I was gonna say, could you name one other song outside of When Worlds Collide? And I can name Bombshell. Remember that? Drop the Bombshell.
Yeah, I think I do now. Now that you say that. Yep.
But yeah, they're Benchwarmers. Sorry, guys.
Can you look up their Spotify metrics? I just want to see now, because I mean, I agree too. Mainly because I didn't check them out a whole lot, but I knew that one song.
Wow, almost 1,900,000.
Damn.
I mean, can you believe that?
Who are the people that are listening to this stuff right now? That's what I want to know. We love you guys. We love you guys. You're listening to us, hopefully, and I mean, we're doing an episode on it, so we're into it too.
I mean, it's funny though, because it's clearly the single, and it's being put in playlists like we're doing, and that just gets that constant spin and tally.
We'll pick a different song.
Yeah, let's switch it up. Deep cut all day.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Benchwarmer. I mean, I just never got into him. It's very similar to Fear Factory, but I didn't even like that song that much. And I remember thinking I really like Static X. This seems like a Static X ripoff.
Very much you're right.
So. You know, they just dropped a new album 2 weeks ago.
Really?
Yes, they're still a band. Yep,
still a band.
Crazy.
Yeah, I think consensus Benchwarmer for us, unfortunately. Sorry, guys.
Yeah,
but hey,
and
people keep listening.
And the Benchwarmer thing's so funny too, because when you think about it, or pre-COVID days in terms of like venues they're playing, they're like that band that's always playing like, I don't know, Hampton Beach Casino, I guess, as like the opener, like 6 shows out of the summer. They're just kind of like a house band kind of thing.
Yeah,
not necessarily has been, just kind of like readily available.
Hey, so. they're still making it work as a band in 2020, which is crazy. They just put an album out, so
yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy.
Good for them.
Yeah, good for them. It's awesome.
All right, we spinning again?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, cool. We got another one coming on the way.
Ooh, come on, big money.
Oh, ooh. I was hoping we'd get this one.
Oh,
Limp Bizkit.
LIMP Biscuit is right here.
Yep.
Introducing
Chocolate Starfish. Who wants to lead off? I have a feeling we're going to disagree, and I love it.
I think I know where this is going. Nate, you be the mediator and go first.
This is awesome.
Nate's going to agree with me, man.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
Talked about it. Limp Bizkit will always be referred as like the new metal, like cliche. It's why some people either love new metal or hate new metal, because Limp Bizkit quantifies as like the band that has that separation. It's like you either hate them or you love them. I love them. I love Limp Bizkit. Not gonna lie, I don't care. It tarnishes my image.
Street cred.
They have great music, yeah. And in fact, we were listening to Soulfly earlier, and some of these bands, and that track with Fred Durst, like in his heyday, during like $3 Bill, y'all. So yeah, I mean, great. I mean, Wes Borland's one of my favorite guitarists. Fred Durst during the $3 Bill era was, on a different planet. So those grassroots, and obviously they kind of, had their ups and downs like anything. But collectively, I love their music. I still think a lot of it's timeless. And me and Tone, like, we ride for it. Tone, I'll let you speak for yourself. But I'm gonna.
We'll let Twan go first. But yeah,
yeah,
I got things to say. I got agreements to have.
So Nate, what's your rating
for new metal? I guess a Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they definitely, love or hate kind of define what new metal represents, which is the breakdowns, the rap rock, the, I don't know, just the money being thrown around in the industry at the time. I mean, Limp Bizkit was crazy huge at the time, right? So, so
what do you think,
perfect
Twan?
little hybrid.
We're gonna disagree on this one. For me, if I think of GOAT as the Mount Rushmore, they're not on it, and they're not a fringe.
Mm-hmm.
They're top 10, and I think for them, the first half of their catalog, I can get with. The back half, it's like, come on, guys, just give it up. Like when Results May Vary dropped, I was like, all right, move on. And again, this is another one with the joke's on me, because they have 6.5 million monthly listeners.
I can see that.
And I'm not coming across as a hater, because $3 Bill, y'all, untouchable. Significant Other is great. Chocolate Starfish is good to great. For me, they're Hall of Famers. and probably first ballot. And I know that's kind of a GOAT term, is first ballot, but I think they are first ballot. I mean, they're going to get in. They miss the GOAT, though. They miss the Mount Rushmore. I can think of 4 other bands that are in that over them. What you got, Tone? What you got? What you got coming?
I'm putting them on, as far as new metal goes, they're Mount Rushmore. They're GOAT.
Yeah.
And I hear what you're saying. You're right. The results may vary. Terrible. New old songs, terrible. There are songs on Chocolate Starfish that are just not good. Gold Cobra had some songs on it that I liked.
Had some
a
tracks?
couple years back. Yeah, had some tracks. And he wore a Rondo jersey, a Celtics Rondo jersey in the video. So
That's right.
Oh yeah.
I'm down for that all day, being a Celtics fan. So, but the $3 bill, Significant Other, Chocolate Starfish 3-album run fits our 3-album run segment for us, which we talked about way back in the day. There are just so many good tracks, and Chocolate Starfish gets hated on because of Rollin' and a couple others. Like Hot Dog is stupid because he just says fuck every other word. But there are some really, really good songs on that album. Boiler and the song with Weiland, Hold On. Oh, that song is so great.
Yeah.
Nate, we listened to that 2 weeks ago too.
Yep. Great song.
It's just, there's some really, their highs are higher than most bands in this genre. That's why I think they're a GOAT.
What do you guys think is their most streamed song on Spotify?
Ooh.
Break Stuff, maybe?
Yeah, Break Stuff would be a good one.
It's either that or Nookie.
Faith.
It's Rollin'.
That was my second guess.
I was thinking Nookie.
Fucking Rollin'. Yeah, Nookie would be
or
up there
Break
too.
Stuff.
Wow.
Damn.
Well, here's an interesting take. You know, that's like one of their worst songs. And that's where they're getting the metrics from. And that's where, like, you know, as much as we want to hate the labels, if it's all about making money, clearly they know what they're doing, because that song's number 1 on Spotify. And that's what's continuing that payroll. But you know, but if they kept the ethos of like $3 bill throughout those 3 albums, they'd be way smaller, for better or for
they would
worse.
have been different. I'm not sure if they would have been smaller. They would have been different. Because I mean, there's some rawness on $3 bill that you don't get after that album at all. Like listen to Goes in the Stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, there's some stuff there. And you're right, Borland. I love Borland too. Good point, Nate. I forgot to bring him up. He just, I mean, I like Black Light Burns, which is one of his other bands.
Yeah.
They're GOAT for me.
Fantastic band.
It's so funny though, Nate. Like you say, like the labels know what they're doing, and it's so true. It's like the joke is on me, who's the Rollin' contrarian, because clearly, like, the machine pumped out Rollin', and it spoke to people. It's has over 211 million streams on Spotify. Like, the labels are doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
That's the McNugget of that band. You know, that's like a shitty song, but it sells.
Yeah, that's
It's
right.
mass produced.
That's a good point. That's a good way to put it. I
The
like
cheap
that.
single that gets you in the door.
Yeah.
Tangent. Twan was in a McNugget off. How did you try to eat 50 of them?
I ate 27 nuggets in like 10 minutes or something and came in last
Oh
place.
God! How many did you? Oh well, at least you came in last. I actually have more respect for you now. What was the winning number?
51, but there was a tie, so they went into a nugget off, which is like I eat one, you eat one, and then
A nugget.
whoever ends up in a coma first loses.
And who
They're
was it? It
both
was-
still with us today, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Who was it? Sella and someone else, right?
I think he lost in the championship.
Yeah, Setla, our much esteemed producer, who is sitting over in the corner right now, smiling at me. Setla did that.
Oh man. If
Awesome.
you guys want to redo this competition, I feel like I'm a strong contender.
At our age, though, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe when I was
Trust me.
24. You
I
think you
don't
can do
wanna
it?
eat-
Yeah, you do like to eat, Nate. I can give you that.
I don't want to eat pink slime. Trust me. It's just I like the challenge.
I think that's in the burgers, but it probably is also in the nuggets.
Yeah, it's white slime.
Oh, it's definitely in
different.
the nuggets.
All right,
Yeah.
tangent. Spinning the wheel again as we wrap up the tangent of the chicken McNuggets. All right, here we go. Who we got? There's another one. The Deftones.
Oh,
Ooh.
nice. We never talk about this band, so this is really
No.
nice.
No, I don't even know who they are. They have a song coming out in about 40 minutes.
Yep.
Tone, you go first. Deftones.
They okay. So I guess the question for me is, are they new metal?
Mhm.
They're definitely a GOAT band for me. but they're just a go band for me in general. There's just so many good songs, so many good albums. They're a band that I'm always interested in what they're doing. I hear, oh, new Deftones, okay, I'm in. New song comes out at midnight, like I'll probably stay up and listen to it. Like it's just that they're a go band for me. I just there's too much good there for me to be. Even some of the misses weren't that bad, as far as stuff goes. But I think they've gotten better as they've gone along. We All Ride for White Pony, which is 20 years old this year, but 10 years ago, Diamond Eyes, and I love that album. And then Koi came out, 6 years ago, 5 years ago? I fucking love that album. So, yeah, they're just, they're an all-time band for me. I think they're a GOAT.
Well, shoot. After talking about Limp Bizkit, it's like, man, this is tough because they really are Mount Rushmore. But to your point, Tone, I don't know if they're new metal. I mean, they're definitely lumped. They're always lumped into the new metal category. So I guess it validates just from popular opinion alone. I mean, I think of Deftones, especially our fandom for them as a band. It's for our generation. It's almost like our Black Flag. It's like, oh shit, they were so like, they're still so true to what they stand for. Well, I guess Black Flag's a bad example from where they are today, but they weren't really cool until later, and it was definitely like kind of a small crowd that really endorsed them, and I think that's why they played smaller venues forever. They never really did the whole arena thing, except for a few tours. So to be a fan of the Deftones, you kind of like were in the know. Yeah, their music's timeless. Their style is amazing. The fact that the vocalist has a full-on singing voice and scream as well is like that perfect. I mean, that kind of represents what new metal is, I guess, is that, mixture of, super crazy screaming, but also melodic and all the different elements that make new metal what it is. So I guess we have to say Deftones is new metal, but yeah, Mount Rushmore for sure for Deftones. It's undeniable for me. And for I guess you too, Tim.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're top 3 band all time for me. And I mean, if you look at the catalog, Adrenaline is a new metal album. I mean, it came out in that era.
There, right?
The sound is new metal, and then parts of Around the Fur. I think when you get to White Pony, Back to School, that's a new metal song, but they hate that fucking song. If you talk,
well, and that was an after the fact, right?
And that was an after the fact. That was the label saying like, you need a single.
Mm-hmm.
But if you listen to interviews with Chino and stuff, like they always tried to distance themselves from new metal. They never wanted to be lumped into it because they kind of viewed it as throwaway music.
Yeah,
and and also when you listen to those interviews, you hear how they were influenced by Far and Hum and The Cure and things like that. Where like, I mean, I don't hate on like, I don't know, One Side Zero, but I don't think they had the same influences. I think they're just cut from a different cloth. Like Chino loved Bad Brains. He loved all that stuff. Just a different influence. And I think it comes through in the music. And it's why they're still here. They were 89 or 30 years later.
That's crazy.
With a new album coming out next week.
Yeah. So first ballot, top of the GOAT list.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so stoked for that new album. And there's a new song.
What are you taking next Friday off?
I am taking next Friday off.
The song comes out. The new song and video comes out at midnight Eastern. So about a half an hour.
Sweet.
As we trudged along here through the new metal jungle late night.
I love it.
Spinning it again. Here we go. All right, we got coming at you real quick, Spine Shank.
Wow.
That's a letdown after Deftones, not going to lie.
Oh, man.
I only know one song by them, and I couldn't tell you the name of it. I could tell you it if it came on. So I'm going to go ahead and say Benchwarmer, but that's just...
It's probably New Disease off Height of Callousness.
Yes. Yep.
Wow.
That was on like Sean Palmer Pro Snowboarder or something, and that's why I knew it.
Holy crap. Wow. Good memory once again.
I only had this album by them, and I'm looking at their catalog, and they probably had one before and one after. I mean, pretty short career here. They were kind of in that Static X-y kind of sound, and this is super nerdy. But the CD booklet, the booklet to this CD had a very distinct smell. I mean, we always talk about Rage Against the Machine, Battle of LA, smells like baseball cards. This one I can almost smell it right now. It was like just a unique smell. It's like you open it up, you're at the CD store, you open it up, and you're like, okay, definitely a new CD. They're a 6-man. I think there's some that still hold them in a certain tier, which I can't get down with, but I wouldn't. At the same time, I wouldn't dismiss them. I don't think they're Benchwarmers. I think they're 6-man. They're not all stars. I mean, no 20-year-old's checking out Spine Shank in 2020.
Right.
Or are they? Maybe the Spotify metrics tell us differently.
281,000, which is more
Okay.
than I would have thought.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
It's still so surprising. Yeah.
Spotify's just beefing the
Man.
numbers here. I don't believe any of this shit.
Yeah. Seriously, man.
That's why they're worth 54 billion. I'm putting in quotation marks.
Spine Shank. Yeah, mine's pretty simple on this one. It's definitely Benchwarmer because again, I didn't give a whole lot of time of day to this one, which it kind of shows to like where we were at. Like some bands, I would give all the time of day, and then some I just wouldn't. And this was one of the ones that kind of got passed over. And even the stuff I heard, I was like, oh, it's okay, but I'm not like super stoked on it. So for that reason, Benchwarmer. But to your point, Tone, earlier, like maybe they're Mount Rushmore style. I just haven't given them the full time of day. I just got to listen to the albums.
Yeah, that's easy to do, especially with. I mean, if you could see the wheel right now, there's still another 40-something bands sitting here. So
Yeah,
and this was just one time frame, so it's crazy.
I know, seriously.
are they a band that overcame their terrible name?
That's a handicap.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, that's a tough name.
I never really thought about it until now. It's like it's a bad name. I mean, they overcame it, and it is what it is. But
It just
not a great name.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
I mean, that's a new metal thing right there. Is like most new metal names are pretty bad.
Yeah,
so the
there's
ones
a lot
that
of
made
bad.
it,
at least they spelled it right. I mean, that's a
yeah.
That's true. That's true. All right,
There's
I'm
Limp
spinning
Bizkit.
the wheel again.
Limp Bizkit's one of the worst names ever.
It's not a great name. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Mudvayne.
Oh, nice.
Ah, all right. Nate, where's Mudvayne from? You remember this from a couple weeks back. Peoria, Illinois. Is that
Yeah.
right?
yes, that's right.
Exactly. Peoria. Yep. A little
We're our
Wikipedia.
episode 25 guest, also from Peoria, Illinois.
Yeah, he's like the hood. I'm like, oh, Mudvayne. I think I know there's gonna be disagreement on this one because I know that I ride for this band. I always liked what they did, and I know that there was always a little bit of a comparison with them and Slipknot because they came up and also kind of got a helping hand from the guys in Slipknot. And beyond that, I mean, it's kind of obvious that they definitely went the makeup route with the costumes and everything for LD50, the first mainstream major release from Mudvayne. But man, I always loved their rhythm section. Their drummer's phenomenal, and their bassist is phenomenal, and the guitarist they're just all great. And then Chad, the singer, eventually went on to start Hell Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Vinnie Paul
Yep.
from Pantera and some of the guys from Nothing Face. And always appreciated his style too. It's like really, speaking of Rage Against the Machine that we always talk about, like seems like he's like plugging his nose when he's singing. It's
Yep.
like this nasally type vocal thing that's going on. I'm not really sure what it is. And he also goes in these rhythms where he like sings like 100 miles an hour. It's just like I can't keep up
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, great music for working out, lifting weights and stuff. But yeah, I really like LD50, and I really like End of All Things to Come. I was obsessed with. So let's see. I want to say for me, probably what's the one below
Hall of
Mount
Famer.
Rushmore? Hall of Famer. I'll go Hall of Famer on them. Yeah, I think of that. They broke up, but if they got back together, there might be a splash, and I'm sure they have some pretty strong Spotify listenership.
Yeah. I mean, they're still well thought of today.
Mhm.
And LD50's 20 this year, right?
Wow.
Another
crazy.
amazing. The year 2000 produced some friggin' nuts albums, and
Mhm.
Mudvayne being right there with those. I would put them in that same category, Nate. I might say that they're like Robert Ory. They're probably a Hall of Famer, but I wouldn't be shocked if they don't make it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? That's
Yep.
the type of band. Like they're like right on the cusp of being a Hall of Famer. I wouldn't call them first ballot for me, but they did have some bangers of songs, and those albums that you mentioned are great. And it's funny you mentioned Hell Yeah. Hell Yeah it was just made to be played in strip clubs, right? I mean,
Pretty much.
that's what that was for.
It's like a straight up
yeah.
party band. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And good for them for doing that. I mean, that's a smart move. It's a smart play. But yeah, it's the first thing that I thought of when you said Hell Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, the strip club band.
Yeah.
It's like what Buck Cherry always wanted to be.
Might have actually tarnished the Mudvayne brand name for that reason, because it was like, oh shit, you had like this really good thing going on, but I mean, not that Hell Yeah is terrible, but it's not a real band. I mean, it's a tribute to the party lifestyle, essentially.
So the first time I ever heard this band was MTV2. I think it was Buzzworthy videos
Dig.
for Dig.
Yep.
And it was like,
Nice.
at the time, you're like, this is a wannabe Slipknot, because Slipknot had broken through at that point, 99,
Yeah.
2000. So you're like, this is a Slipknot wannabe band. But then you get into their history, and they started in like 96 or something.
Yeah.
So they'd been out a while. I never connected with this band. I did buy LD50, and that's kind of where it ended for me. One thing I can appreciate is I think it's all original members to this day, or whenever they broke up, 2010 or something like that. It was the same group the whole way, which is super rare for
That's cool.
15
Yeah.
years.
Yep.
For me, they're an all-star. They're not a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
They're fringe, I would say, but for me personally, all-star.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, we got a couple more in us, I think.
Yeah, we got a few more, yeah.
One or two more. Let's do one here. Let's see what we get. This could be. I mean, there's some heavy hitters left. Ooh. Oh, Orgy.
Orgy. All right. Bandicap. How you doing?
Yeah. another Bandicap. I think new metal should have just been called Bandicap. So Orgy, what was it? Was it Blue Monday was the big song?
Yeah, the cover. The
Yeah.
cover off
Yeah.
Candy Ass.
And they had another song or two, but I don't remember much else.
They had Stitches, and then
Stitches, yeah, Stitches. Stitches is actually a good song.
Vapor
that I-
Transmission was
Yep.
Dreams in Digital Fiction.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep. So
Yep.
these guys were like a new wave band that came out during new metal, right?
Yeah.
They really could have fit in the late '80s with a Cure sounding type, or in that vein. They wouldn't have done it as well as the Cure, but you know what I mean. So yeah, I think they're like in the new metal genre for the time. They're probably a sixth man for me. They had 3 or 4 really big songs that were really kind of jumped off at the time, but they wouldn't. I mean, no one's listening to them now, right? You're gonna pull up the metrics, and it's gonna be 2 million a month. But my thought is that there's not a lot of people checking Orgy out today.
500,000
compared to that's crazy. A month?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy to me.
Wow.
I swear
Unbelievable.
Spotify's pumping these numbers. Take a 0 off all these things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say six man or so, just because they had some hits.
Yeah. Jeez. I think I'm gonna agree with you on the 6-man thing. Orgy again was kind of off my radar for the most part. They were playing a lot of bills with, I think they played Family Values tour, right?
They did. Yep. 98.
And did they come to Maine with Korn, I think, for
That
one of
off
the tours?
day that came up here, I think they did.
They played the Holiday Bazaar one year.
Okay,
Did
that's
they
what it
really?
was.
And then I think they played the Stained show in 98, 99 at the Asylum.
Wow. So I think I'm thinking of the Civic Center show, and I remember it being a pretty good live show. So that always says something.
Yeah.
But beyond that, yeah, it just kind of passed me by. And it's fun. Tone, your comparison's so funny, because as soon as you said that industry plant type, band, I was like, they're like the Vines, like the Skinny Tie of new metal. Like they're all wearing the same thing and everything. Kind of funny. So yeah, I wasn't big on them, to be completely honest. So I'd say between Benchwarmer and 6-man, mainly because they had Blue Monday was huge, and I like that song, the original song. So yeah, didn't really do it for me a whole lot.
Yeah, I had Candy Ass, I had Vapor Transmission, and then I was just looking it up. They had another album after that, which I never really got into, maybe a couple others. You know what's surprising about this band is when I look on eBay for gold records, I swear every time there's like a new one. Like, so obviously Candy Ass went gold.
Yep.
Which I get, because it got a lot of radio play, and I think it got MTV play. For me, they're a 6-man. They're not quite Benchwarmer. They're definitely not an all-star of new metal.
Mm-hmm.
6-man orgy. Take it to the bank.
I would agree. Yep. We're all kind of in the same mode there.
Yeah.
All right, we want to do one more?
Let's do 3.
3 more?
Let's do 2 more.
Yeah.
2 more. All right.
Or I don't
We're
know.
spinning
We'll see
now,
where we
so
go. Let's see where
we'll
we
get
go.
this one. Yeah,
Right.
we get at
You guys
least
just staying
one,
up
or
for the
maybe two. Maybe 2. Oh boy, a heavy hitter, Linkin Park.
Oh shit.
Oh my. This is a big one. This is a big one. Who wants to lead off?
One of you guys, cause I got to think
I'll
about
do
it.
I'll do it. These guys are goats.
Okay.
They're on the new metal Mount Rushmore. They have been around for 25 years, 24 years, something like that. Hybrid Theory is 20 this year. Hybrid Theory was an absolute behemoth of a record when it came out. You didn't know anybody that didn't have it in their car. Like, it was what it was. We were in high school. We were sophomores in high school, I think, when that came out, and everybody had it. And then I remember when their second album was just a remix album of Hybrid Theory because of how big Hybrid Theory was.
Reanimation.
And I remember going to get it with you, Twan, and Setla, and our buddy Ian. And it was a summer day, and just going to your house, Twan, in the basement, hanging out, throwing it on, and just listening to it. Like, that was our first listening party.
Hell yeah.
That's where Patio Slay podcast started. Was born out
20 years later.
Yeah, so it was just, and that's 20 years ago. But then they continue to put out pretty good music from then to now. Even 10 years ago, I think 1,000 Suns came out recently. It was the 10-year anniversary of that, and there's some good songs on that record. The first 2 albums are kind of where I live with it. It's of a time for me. It's a high school era, sophomore year, senior year, high school type stuff. But you can't deny how big they were, and still kind of are. Even though rest in peace, Chester. They were a massive, massive band, and still are pretty big to this day. And I bet they have a lot of monthly listens on Spotify if you pull that up to one. But they're
19 million.
Yeah, that's nuts.
There you go.
That's nuts.
That's crazy. Wow. Yeah, Linkin Park. Holy crap! I can't believe that album came out 20 years ago. They kind of, as big as they became, they definitely had the gradual success because they were playing the small clubs. They were opening for bands like Papa Roach and whatnot, and then became, stadium, arena type status band. And I was listening to Hybrid Theory today in preparation for this, and I'm like, man, this album really is good. Like, it's basically like a sing-along album, it's very easy to recognize or remember these lyrics. Even with that said, for some reason, it's still pretty damn good. It's not predictable. It's predictable if you know it, obviously, but it's not too polished, even though it's very radio friendly and it's sequence and there's no swearing and all that stuff. And one thing we talk about on this podcast is the optics, Twan, especially you. The optics for Hybrid Theory was so cool.
Yeah.
All the marketing and all the posters and all the products that came out. So that remix album. And then I remember buying the DVDs like Frat Cake or Frat Party at the Pancake House or something like that.
Festival.
The DVD.
Yeah, Pancake. Yeah.
And even just the packaging was so cool because it seemed I don't know, of the time and place kind of thing. Yeah, man. I think I didn't want to give it the Hall of Fame, but I think it's appropriate for what it represents in new metal. And that
Hall
first
of Fame
album.
or GOAT?
I'm gonna go Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Hall of Fame probably could be GOAT. You said GOAT, Tone?
Yeah, I think they're goats.
They're kind of a GOAT. I don't know. This might be a hybrid theory between those two.
Nah, again with the Hybrid Theory jokes. Oh, man. Twan, what do you think?
They're number 4 on the Mount Rushmore GOAT status.
Oh, wow.
They're 4, and we can once we get through our final spin, I say we can get into our personal Mount Rushmores. I'm curious to hear you guys's, but yeah, they're GOATs. I mean, I think if I think back on their catalog, Hybrid Theory is a front to back.
Mm-hmm.
Reanimation that's a throwaway, but Meteora, like you talk about the optics, Nate. The optics of Meteora were better than Hybrid Theory. You had the whole spray paint thing, kind of going rogue, cool. That whole character, they pulled that off brilliantly. And then after that, was that Minutes to Midnight, or what was after that?
Yeah, I think that was after that. And then they did Live in Texas, the live album, and probably to fulfill a record contract like usual.
Yeah, 2007. That's kind of where I lost them. I think that had What I've Done.
What I've Done is Meteor.
Yep.
No, What I've Done is Minutes to Midnight.
Oh, okay. What am I thinking of? It's Meteor. Nah, forget it.
Somewhere I Belong, maybe.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Damn, I remember seeing these songs on Napster.
But even those first two albums, I think, for the genre are untouchable. With Hybrid Theory being kind of a one that supersedes genres. It transcends genres.
Yep.
So yeah, for me, GOAT.
So you think Reanimation was a throwaway?
Were there any new tracks on that? Did they throw like My December on that and stuff? I can't remember.
My December was on there. It was a remix of My December, but yeah. Remix of My December, remix of High Voltage, EP songs.
Oh, and they misspelled every song.
Yes, they did. Yeah, that was a full on new metal like record company. Let's make this look fucking Transformer on the cover. Like
Yeah, I'd have to listen to
Bullshit.
it back. Actually, wow, this is crazy. Black Thought was on.
yeah, Black Thought, Pharomonch. There were a lot of big names on that.
Oh, High
for the
Voltage.
time frame.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
this had some deep
dude.
cuts.
Go back and listen to that. It's not a throwaway.
It's not a throwaway?
I actually think it's very good. I still think it's very good.
I'll check this out again. I mean, it's been probably 15 years anyway.
Well,
When
we're
was
not even
the-
mentioning they did the mashup with Jay-Z.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that's right.
that album was actually pretty sweet.
It was cool.
Even
It was
though
like
it's
when
just
mashups
like-
were big. Yeah.
Yeah, that was rad.
I would.
Shoot.
Yeah. I think they're goats. I think I'm with you. I'm with you, Twan. They're goats.
Let's do one more.
All right.
We'll do one more.
Spin it up, Spinny. Let's go.
Nice.
And the last one of the night. Ooh. The band Ra.
Do you
Shit.
call my name?
Yep. Yep.
All right, I'll go first. Benchwarmers. Sorry, guys.
Yep. I'm gonna go ahead and agree with you, Benchwarmer. Sorry, guys. Nate.
I'm gonna go Benchwarmers. Isn't this Disturbed? Oh, never mind. It's Raw.
Isn't this a bad Disturbed band cover band? Do you call my name was cool? Whatever. They were whatever.
The instrumentals, like when the intro is fantastic, and the bass
great.
line, like the bass, the slap bass, like, do you call my name? Da, 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 da. It's cool.
pretty
I
cool.
mean,
Yep.
beyond that, I couldn't tell you another song, or if they had another album.
Yeah, it's a good point. I'm not sure that was it for me. That one song.
Spotify listens.
Who knows, man? 1,000.
I think this is a
1,300.
bandicap because,
Can't find them.
yeah, it's like not registering as a name.
Yeah. So another
Oh, wow.
problem with who they didn't know that you were going to be searching in Spotify's search
Yeah.
engine.
I'll have to put in Rod, do you call my name, and back into it.
Yeah. But yeah, they're
Raw.
not they're bench warmers for us, unfortunately. One cool song
Yeah.
that fit the moment, but yeah, they're not very high up there. Okay, do we want to go through our Mount Rushmores? I think we have a couple already kind of cemented there. And Deftones and Linkin Park for Twan and
Mhm.
I, and Deftones and Limp Bizkit for Nate and I.
Yeah, I'll round
Who
it
wants-
out. So mine was going to be Deftones, Korn, Slipknot, Linkin Park.
Fair.
For me,
Mm,
like,
nice.
you will never convince me otherwise. Like, it's just, Korn is, they're actually a band that I've gotten back into recently.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nice.
I actually threw on that, was it Take a Look in the Mirror, the one with like, Y'all Want a Single?
Oh yeah.
Which I thought was a
Y'all wanna
terrible
sing on
song.
that
And it
fuck-
is. The song stinks. The instrumentals are fucking awesome. Like, there's no shame in that.
They're a good band.
Yeah.
I agree.
So that's mine.
One. I listened to that song today, and I was like, I agree. The instrumentals on that song, and that whole album is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So
Issues, Untouchables are, they lose me after Take a Look in the Mirror, but
mhm.
the first albums, you kidding me? Self-Titled, Life is Peachy, Follow the Leader, Issues. That's a
It's a 4-album run.
4-pack that's I can get
yeah,
behind.
four Pete
That's
for
fair.
sure.
They don't. I've never spent enough time with them. I'm obviously aware of who Korn is and respect what they've done and how big they are and how they're still doing it. I'd substitute them out for LB as far as new metal goes, Limp Bizkit. So that's the other three. I think we agree on. Deftones, you said, Linkin Park. Who was the fourth one?
Slipknot.
Slipknot.
Slipknot. Yep,
So can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Where does Sode stand?
they're close.
See,
They're close.
a lot of people think they're in that. For me, nope.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I mean, Toxicity was pretty good. Self-Titled was pretty good. After that, I didn't really listen to them as much.
Yeah, I mean, the Hypnotize and Mesmerize, I listened to some of. That should have been one album. Steal This album, whatever.
They're-
So yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, Still This album is actually pretty good. But
I
it's,
gotta go back.
It's clearly just like a collection of B-sides, which is cool for what it is, but it's definitely not like an album. But yeah, no, Hypnotize and Mesmerize. I always thought listening to them, and as much as huge as I was into them at the time, like they're just not like unified albums. So it really was like a 2-album band. They probably were supposed to break up after that second album.
Yep.
So yeah, but it sucks because the first self-titled album's just so amazing.
Well, Toxicity is unassailable.
Amazing too.
So I fucking love Toxicity. It's a great record. But yeah, they don't. They would probably be on their name alone. They're probably Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't jump onto the Mount Rushmore for any of us. I don't think.
Yeah, I think we're like in pretty much full agreement here, because I think even for like the pinnacle out of that Mount Rushmore would probably be Slipknot, right? Out of all these bands.
Yeah, and you could make the argument Slipknot is a Mount Rushmore in a different genre too, because they're not.
Yeah.
I mean, they started off in the nu metal vibe, but I don't think I wouldn't call them that now. So they've kind of superseded the genre as far as their sound goes, I think. But they still kind of sound it too, I guess. I don't know.
I'm going to backpedal a little bit on Linkin Park. If Rage Against the Machine is nu metal, Linkin Park slides out.
Yeah. That's fair.
That's true.
And
I would probably slide them out for Limp Bizkit, unfortunately. Sorry, Fred.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But Rage is better. I mean, it's not even close.
Nate, who's your Rushmore?
So if you exclude Rage, then definitely Slipknot. So it's 4, right? It's 4 bands.
Although Trump wants to be 5th.
Yeah, he'll be 5th. So you can have a 5th in honor of Donald J. Trump. That's as political as we're gonna get.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go. Yeah, I would go Slipknot, Lincoln. I think I actually backpedaling too, because I didn't want to give Linkin Park that title because I just don't listen to them enough. But it just makes sense for nu metal. Like it's definitive nu metal, like all day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Linkin Park, Korn, Limp Bizkit, and Slipknot. So I guess I would agree with all you guys. That was the 4.
You don't think Rage or Deftones are nu metal bands, and honestly, I would agree with you. I'm not sure.
Yeah, not really. Yeah, I feel like Deftones is just. Even looking at this list, it's like Deftones just stands out.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
through and through. For the most part.
That's a great point. So if Rage or Deftones don't make it, I got to think of my 4.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Won't happen on this podcast tonight. I got to think about that.
Yeah, that would take some time.
And just for the listeners, we had, like we said, about 50 names.
Yeah.
We'll take a photo and we'll put it in the Instagram post in like a second photo so you can see who else was on the list.
Yeah, I'll refill it because I've been removing them.
Oh, that's right.
But that's easy enough. It'll take seconds. So we're spinning again anyway. Yeah. So check us out on the socials at Patio Slave on Twitter and Instagram. Email us patioslavepodcast@gmail.com. We've got a couple of different guests lined up for you in the next couple of weeks. Just gonna nail down some times with those. But we are excited about the next few weeks. So stay tuned.
Awesome, guys. Good night. Cheers.
Yeah. Peace, podheads.
Thanks, all. Thanks for checking us out.